for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Joining me on the program today is none other than my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on, man?
Man, as usual, I'm always just humbled and honored to be invited on and to be able to participate in this fantastic sport.
Man, I appreciate that because I ain't give you no money this time. No Groupons, no nothing. I appreciate that. I appreciate the genuinity.
You promised me I was going to get it later on, so you got a little credit with me.
Yes.
I can bribe with you.
I appreciate that. The only thing I really promised you was maybe a Browns parade. And on the other side of the ledger, my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell them folks out there what you say.
Suited and booted, ready to devour these topics you have in store for us.
Did he just say zooted and booted? No, he didn't go to George Clinton. Man, you ain't on the mothership, man.
He did say that.
He did. Double J live up there in the Motor City. He think he
I'm
know
ready to go Atomic Dog tonight, all right?
Oh, my gosh. Hey, whatever he's having, make mine's a double. This guy's ready. And no checkpoints tonight, fellas. No checkpoints. All right, Brother Rich, before we dive into some of these topics, but let me let you all know what we're going to be discussing today. Maybe not. I might just do one at a time. Let me see here. Let me contemplate Terry in this situation. Yeah, I think I will. We're going to talk about the NBA season awards tonight at 9 p.m. on TNT. And then we're going to slide on over, just take a brief look back at the 2019 NBA draft, get you all's thoughts on the particulars after the fact. And last but not least, the NFL's 10 best wide receivers, and in particular, the best of the 10, because I got an issue with this, not this list so much, but the folks that's been yawning and crackling and talking and jaw-jacking about all these top 5, top 10 NFL wide receivers lists, and for my boy to not be on some of them. We'll get to that in a minute. But up first, Brother Rich, I got some bad news for you, man. Do you know that Major League? Yeah, being that you're from New York and all, and New York is in my heart too, man. I was there long enough to be able to, I'm a citizen. You get what I'm saying? The Bronx, the Brooklyn, the whole nine. But apparently, Major League Baseball then came out and said, due to the fact that in some cities, because of the sweltering heat or whatnot, that I don't know. I think maybe at some point this time, this season, this year, that all Major League Baseball players will be. They're suggesting that all Major League Baseball players wear these like onesies type deal, man. These short type outfits, man. I'm talking about like back in the 70s.
What?
The crotch killers, man. Listen, hold up. That ain't the half of it. Guess who signed on to do it first? The Yankees.
No.
Man. Double J, tell him.
No.
Double J.
No.
Double J, you messed it up.
I hate to agree with him here, but it does appear that, as the saying goes, sex sells, and apparently the jock straps are going to look more like thongs these days.
Man,
what?
Brother Rich, can you believe it? I'm talking about single file line crotch killers, man. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and see, here's the killer part. I remember.
Hold on. Is this agreed on already? They're gonna do this?
Man, listen, bro, Rich,
or is this being just debated?
What'd you say, Double J?
Send them that team picture that they.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want to do that. You don't understand, Brother Rich is New York through and through. I mean, oh my gosh. New York course through the blood in his veins.
Serious, they're not gonna do this for real. Like, y'all joking. This is serious. Yeah. This is why you called it a surprise subject today, because you can't do this today.
Yeah, Brother Rich. Yeah, man. I'm talking about, and it never dawned on me when I was watching the NBA, for instance. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing these dudes all in these shorts or whatever it is. I was like, man, I wonder why they all sound like Mike Tyson. Before I even knew who Mike Tyson was. Yeah, man. Ain't I give you 30s. Yeah. Yeah, bro, Rich. I mean, it's sad, man. I feel you though. Don't break your phone. Don't break your TV. Don't break none of that. Okay. Terrible. Yeah. Terrible. No, man. I'm just I'm just messing with you, man. No, me and Double J. It was Double J's idea.
Okay.
Double J's
Okay.
idea. Yeah.
I was gonna say, come on,
Yeah.
man, y'all cannot be serious.
You put me up to it. I'm sorry.
No, don't
Okay,
even.
okay.
No, Double J, you put me up to it, Brother Rich. For real. Hey, listen, man. The guy offered me Groupons. I mean, come on now. What was I supposed to do?
Look, I'm serious. I'm like, look, I gotta get off this phone and go look this up and find out who I can call and complain to. Look, serious.
Yeah, Brother Rich. I mean, come on, man. You know it's hard to turn down them Groupons. I mean, he was giving 5
I'm
or
trying
7
to take
too.
my son to a Yankees Dodgers game, and y'all was gonna ruin my time and my children. Come on, man.
Yeah, Double
Yeah,
J.
the Thunder down under with 7th inning stretch.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah. Even seeing the picture, even though it's fake news, he seen the picture of it, man. I dropped my phone, and it fell down. And believe me, I was in the apartment. It dropped my phone, and it fell down in the sewer grate outside. Couldn't get to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, wow. Yeah, it was a bad deal. All right. Switching gears. You like that? Didn't catch that? Okay. Yeah, let's talk about the NBA season awards. Like I said, they come on tonight at 9 p.m. on TNT. And the categories are, I'll go through them here. I mean, it's more than I got listed here, but the categories that most people are interested in. Who will be this year's MVP, Rookie of the Year, Six-Man Award, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, and Coach. But before we get to diving into who's who for each category, let me ask this. Do you all agree, and Brother Rich, I'm staying with you. Excuse me. Do you agree that the handing out of these awards is too long after the season is over? Do you think? Because I was watching. Can't think of the show I was watching.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead, expound on that a little bit.
The silliest thing the NBA has ever come. This is the silliest thing the NBA has ever come up with. Not only does it diminish the award itself because everybody's gone on their vacation, some people are not even around for this. The other problem with this is that this is another indication. Had they given out, let's say they had given out the award at the end of the season like they traditionally did. Mm-hmm. Now we've had a chance to examine the playoffs. How are you going to give anyone else other than, let's say, Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo the MVP? How are you going to do? How are you going to, if Nick Nurse is not somewhere in the discussion for Coach of the Year, how are we making these determinations now? And it shows the prognosticators of the NBA and all of these paid representatives from these magazines and newspaper columnists who are charged with making these decisions and casting these votes. They vote on a short window, very emotional, and more than likely, they all encourage, I'm voting for Giannis. You should vote for Giannis too. And it becomes a childish kind of thing as opposed to us as fans or people who are looking and appreciate the game for what it is, being able to weigh in, if you will, and support what a player really did for his team during the course of the year, contributing all the way through the playoffs. And so it just becomes a silly, monotonous thing. Like, they just keep the season dragging on.
And you know what, Double J, before you weigh in, let me add to that. What is essentially, you're saying it's a regular season award that should not include viewership, for lack of a better word or term, of the playoffs. In other words, if you're gonna give out that regular season award, we should have been privy to seeing the playoffs. Now you got to factor that in.
Right.
And sort of like in layman's terms, where you go to and you see in a courtroom where one of the attorneys will say something, and then the judge say the jury should strike that from the record. Okay, you may have stricken it from the record, but you didn't strike it from the mind. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, how as a jury member do you go in there to deliberate and not still be having that on your mind that you're supposed to not be considering, so to speak? I don't know if that was a good one or not, but
I think that's a perfect example, because that's the one I was going to give.
Okay.
You can't strike that from a person's mind. They heard it. They saw it. You can't. How do you strike from our minds? We just watched the playoffs. We just saw that Kawhi, obviously, when he's healthy, because of Kevin Durant's absence, we weren't able to match them against each other. We could say that Kawhi Leonard, obviously, was the most valuable player in the NBA this year. Now, who's going to get the award? Giannis?
Or James Harden. Excuse me, or James Harden.
Which would be an
don't do
absolute
that.
travesty.
Yeah,
exactly.
but
he couldn't even get along with his teammates.
Yeah, but
his
he's in the
teammates
running.
Don't even see him as the most valuable player on the court. But this is why
It's a travesty.
silly
It's a
exhibition
farce.
and-
Yeah. It's a travesty and a farce. Go ahead, Double J.
Well, I mean, naturally, I'm going to piggyback on Brother Rich's point here that it's unfair because we did, we all tuned in for all of these series, and what's fresh in our mind is what did happen or what didn't happen for these individual players. And so I've never heard someone say, well, this guy had an awful playoff, but you know what? He's the most deserving of the MVP because of the type of regular season he had, putting up, 65 against Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did you say to that, Brother Rich?
I totally agree with that. That's the point. It's like you can't tell me. Remember now, this is not revisionist history. You and I had these conversations off air before the season.
Yep.
And your brother told you that there is no team, before Kobe said it, I've been saying this to you for years, no team led by James Harden can win a title. How does a person who is allowed, for the most part, because the teams are not playing that kind of defense during the regular season, he's allowed to pretty much go ahead and skate and dingle and dangle and shoot and do whatever you. But now when playoffs come and we say, okay, now let's play a defense, let's play real deep basketball, you're not going to win anything with that. So now you hear complaints from. Now we know why he didn't stick in Oklahoma. Now we know why they were willing to let him go, because he's a one-dimensional, very limited basketball player. He's not an extremely tall player, so it's not like he can just consistently create his own shot when the defense is set up specifically to address that issue.
Yeah.
He's not skilled at that. So do we say that guy is the most valuable player in the NBA? Based on what? So it's like it's just like Double J said. I don't care if you had 65. The fact is your team got washed out to the point where it created internal dynamics and conflict, whether or not you're even going to bring that squad back next year.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? He's a circus act, a one-man circus act, that's for sure. But I'm going to throw something else in there. D'Antoni's offense. D'Antoni's offense, along with James Harden, why and how he do it, it ain't going to win nothing either. We saw that well before James Harden was ever in the league. With Phoenix, D'Antoni's offense ain't gonna win you nothing. Ain't gonna win you nothing. It's that run and gun and all that kind of, like you said, freelance. The playoffs is a true serum. They say slow down. That's what I say too. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're kind of gonna go around the little table here, so to speak. Excuse me. And we're gonna go break each category down. I'm gonna ask you, Brother Rich, and of course Double J. And for those out there who are listening, in case you want to weigh in, you can go to our Facebook page, the Shot Reports page, and you can leave a comment. We're asking you too. For each one of these categories, Brother Rich, we'll start with you. Who is your MVP, quote unquote? Because to me, what an MVP is supposed to be nowadays is somewhat misleading than what it should be. It is, but it ain't what it's supposed to be. So go ahead. Who, based on the Today BA, is your MVP?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I kind of think that's kind of hands down.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because absent him, I never even remember that Milwaukee had a team.
Oh, Brother Rich. What?
You've asked me, Jay. You know I'm going to give you the real.
All right. A little shocked by it, though, the suddenness of it all and emphaticness. What about you, Double J?
Yeah, likewise, I'm going to choose Giannis. Again, you and Brother Rich did lay out very clearly why it should not be James Harden. So, we'll start with there.
Yeah, the one-trick pony. And what's sad, man, the folks and the willful ignorance from the fans. I gotta always mention that. The ones who swear up and down James Harden should be the MVP. And again, using only his numbers to validate or to try and justify. I say you all are doing that to assuage your guilt. Okay? Because there's no way James Harden is an MVP. And I, too, am going to complete the trifecta. I say Giannis. Although not complete, still got some stuff to work on, but he so much as admitted himself after they got sent home earlier than what was expected. He said he was getting in the gym. But again, we've had this conversation before, on air, off air, about players and the perception that these guys, when it comes to, quote unquote, working on their game, working on your three-point shot is working on an aspect of your game. But if you really want to work on your game in totality, the first order of business is to work on the things that you are weak at. Make them strengths. And then what you continue to do is make your strengths or maintain and make your strengths stronger. If that made any sense, the last part. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Giannis. He's still got some work to do, but you don't have to question his heart. You see what I mean? And that's a lot of what I see going on. Excuse me. Y'all got to forgive me, man. I didn't have enough water today. But anyway, yeah, I see a lot of that going on in today BA. It's a lot of guys can put up points. But when it comes time for that gut check, that heart check, they check out. Do we agree? Can we agree? Or do we disagree, Brother Rich?
Absolutely.
Double J?
I totally agree with you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Agreed.
All right. Up next is our Rookie of the Year. I'll go first on this one. I say Trae Young. And I will be honest. When he was at Oklahoma, I respected, what he could do, how he put up points and all of that. But I honestly, me, Brother Rich, that one next level translatable, I said, oh, yeah, he flashy, he doing all of that. But I really didn't expect him to turn out to be what he is. I'm praying that he's not a one-hit wonder. But, and it don't look like it. What, Double J? What you saying back there?
He will not win the award.
What happened? He will not win the award.
He's not going to win the award.
Okay, Double J, you can have your moment. But you better be glad I don't have a gong on here because you was about to get that. You almost got muted. Woo, boy, you just if you could see my forefinger in my middle, in my thumb right now. Woo, you came that close to getting the bell and a mutation. I say Trae Young win the award, man. And you didn't let me finish as to why I was saying he should win the award. Rookie of the Year. Who was more elect, especially after the second half of the season? I know Luka, Luka was Luka. But, man, Trae Young, everything I saw from him in college, he's doing it at the NBA. Doing it at the NBA level. You know me, I'm a big ball distributor type of dude. When you got a guy who played his position, man, can distribute the rock the way he distributes the rock, and seeing it before it actually happened, I'm not going to cross that line and say it's magic-esque and all that old kind of stuff. I don't do that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, that's a point guard for you. He got floor general skills and can hurt you offensively. Hurt you. But go ahead, Double J, since you want to have your say on this one in particular, contrary to, then do what you do.
Well, he definitely grew into the position and into the league throughout the season. However, there was a individual known as Luka Doncic that came out of nowhere.
No, I disagree.
Similar.
I disagree. He came out of nowhere. The NBA is the international game is all the rave now in the NBA. So he didn't come out of nowhere, did he? Really? No. Well, go ahead.
But again, look at the overall statistics. If you want to play it that way,
I got you.
Just go off of paper.
Okay, I got you.
He averaged more points per game. So as you just ranted and raved about what Trae Young was capable of doing, if anything, you're rewarding him for doing what he was expected to do, despite the criticism. The only statistical category that he beat Luka on was just the number of assists. which again, as a point guard, you should. But he didn't. He only did, a 2.1 difference in margin. So you tell me who's the more versatile and dynamic player based again solely on paper. And it was easily Luka Doncic.
You know what though? I'll give you one thing you said in all of that that I wouldn't argue against somebody saying Luka Doncic. Am I saying that right? You said expected or unexpected. You're right. Folks expected Trae Young to be what he eventually looks like he will be. And nobody expected, even though I think that we still kind of, folks knew who Doncic was, nobody expected. And that could lend itself to giving him the edge. I won't argue with you on that one, Double J. That was pretty good. But what about you, Brother Rich? Excuse me.
I totally agree with Double J on this. This is going to be Luka Doncic's award tonight. He's going to bask in it. And I think there's several factors why. First and foremost, let me say this. I am absolutely a massive fan of Trae Young. I think that Atlanta is going to be one of those teams next year that you don't want to run into on a bad night, number one.
Yeah.
Having said that.
And maybe not even a good night.
That without a doubt. And I also think that with Trae, what happened with Trae Young is initially, if you recall, as the season began, he did not necessarily live up to the quote-unquote hype that surrounded him. But he certainly grew into his role in a very consistent way. Nevertheless, the reason I would vote for Luka Doncic is because in truth, I heard about him, but I didn't expect him to be as consistently fantastic as he has been and proving to be. He's not a flash in the pan. He's not a boy wonder. He's a real deal. And when you watch him play basketball, you have to say, this guy, and now I'm going out here. Don't get angry.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
the new
do
Larry
it.
Bird.
Oh, no, man. I knew he was going there.
No. Here's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, because you must have saw a picture of Larry Bird with them boots on. Them OJ Dangos.
He's obviously a white young player. Nevertheless, his athletic ability, the way he plays the game,
Bird wasn't athletic.
Reminiscent of no. But here's what I'm talking about. Bird may not have been athletic, but when you look at Bird play, you say, man, that guy right there, that guy can play basketball.
No question.
No question. As a basketball person, we all have to look at Bird and say, man, that guy can play basketball. When you look at Luka Doncic, you say, man,
that guy can play basketball.
Can play basketball.
Okay.
Yes, because what I was expecting was more of, when I heard about this gentleman, I was expecting more of a Paul Gasol type of player. Or
really?
Even a Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay.
But yes, because traditionally European players are more, they kind of just
finesse.
Take the game, ebb and flow as it comes to them. But this young man can create his own shot. He's good off the dribble. He's an excellent jumper. He can play basketball. He doesn't mind going down there and getting real dirty with it. So when you think about him, I think he's the absolute runaway Rookie of the Year. Nevertheless, again, I'm still on the Trae Young bandwagon in terms of what he turns out to be as a team leader and what he's going to be in the Atlanta market. I think he's an example of a person who was drafted to the perfect market. Perfect.
Yeah.
Can I ask both of you this then?
Yeah.
Why, despite all of that, was Trae Young being shocked? My concern with that is Atlanta themselves may feel that he may have a sophomore slump.
No, I disagree. Let me tell you what it is. Now, I want, as much as I talk about the NBA, because I do for good reason, I believe, there is, not every player grasps the concept at the same speed or same level, so to speak. It is culture shock for some, okay? But what he did, because see, if you're going to count what he did, because if they were thinking that was based off the early portion of the season. Well, if you're going to give that kind of weight, then you have to give just as much weight, if not a little bit more, to what he did towards the latter part. He started to figure it out. You get what I'm saying? And again, not all players figure it out at the same time, so to speak. Trae Young is legit, I believe. He's legit, man. The guy is, especially in pick and roll, the guy is for real. But see, to Brother Rich, though, going back to you about the Luka Doncic or Luka deal, all of that is, I don't disagree with you, but all of that don't make him Larry Bird, though, man. Larry Bird, but I agree with your sentiment. But Larry Bird, though, man, that's high regard right there, man. Larry Bird, listen. Let me tell you what separates Larry Bird.
Well, look, I love Larry Bird, and trust me, it is high regard, and I'm not giving high regard except that I looked at this young man and said, man, this dude can play. I thought it was all hype. I really did. Like people thought Zion was hype, and this one is hype, and then Trey was hype. I thought it was hype. The European player, they hyping him because they pushing the European brand right now with Giannis and all these great European players are coming over. I'm thinking it's even European hype. That's why I didn't pay attention to Giannis. I thought European hype. He's a ball player. These are ball players because they've grown up on the American game. And you look at Luka and you say, oh, this guy grew up. And I'll guarantee you, I don't know the young man, but I guarantee you, if you ask him, he grew up watching Kobe Bryant. He grew up watching.
Oh, no question.
He flashes and he moves.
No question.
You can tell he grew up watching and appreciating. You can tell he grew up watching the modern game where it's like, he's a ball player.
But see, let me say this though. Let me say this though about Bird and why I just when I hear those names, I'm talking about even guys we watched, Dominique, Drexler, guys who in today's NBA would have Twitter followers in the billions. Okay, you get me? They could jump out the gym. They was high-flying X, Sean Kemp and all them guys. Bird was that type of dude, man. He will tell you. And he did this to the Lakers now, the Showtime Lakers. Okay? And we talking about them Lakers that's got probably 314 Hall of Famers on the team, and it was only 15 guys. Huh? Jack Nicklaus going to the NBA Hall of Fame. That Showtime Lakers, them ones. He told Pat Riley and them, y'all seen the 30 for 30? He said, look here, man, I'm about to go. Worthy said it. He said, man, Byron Scott, Magic, name the list. They said, man, this dude came to us and said, man, I'm about to go over here to the grocery store. I'm going to get 2 Coors Lights, a pack of Marlboros, and I'm going to come back and hit the game-winning 3, all in the span of 3 seconds. Magic said everybody that night, man, was constipated. When this man would tell you what he was going to do and then go, and Pat Riley, Pat Riley is, you seen the hair, huh? What's already understood need not be explained. Pat Riley even said it out of his mouth on the 30 for 30. He's like, man, I just knew he was done. And just for good measure, the man played an entire NBA game with his left hand. That's you in the class by yourself, man. I don't care how many eras we go through. With all due respect to anybody that everybody talking about. From the blacktop, or should I say from the park to the parquet and all points in between. Larry was special. That's why Jackie McMillan wrote that book, man, for all my readers out there, shop readers. When the game was ours. Story of Magic and Bird. I mean, do I need to say any more? So, I get where you're going, man, but Bird.
Well, wait a minute.
Go ahead, Double J. Try to throw a monkey wrench in that.
He utilizes, absolutely. He utilized the pick and roll at a world class level. However, as far as being able to create his own shot and beat you right off the dribble, Luka looks more along the lines of Tracy McGrady in Orlando than he resembles Larry Bird. And so that's the ability to create your own shot is critical in the today BA.
But guess what?
And so for him to be able to do that and to be able to distribute the ball, which again does mimic Larry Bird.
But see, that's what I'm saying. To Brother Richard's point, it's a fair
player.
It's a fair point. But let me take you all back to a play. If you saw it live or if you saw replays of it, because there's been a million of them, Larry Bird had something that athleticism wish it had. Instinct. He had a basketball
But let me ask you a
instinct.
question.
Do you remember
But
that
Jay,
play where
are
he?
you-
You remember that play where he was going
you-
baseline with his right hand and
But Jay-
missed the shot, got the rebound,
but Jay-
and flipped
but
it back
Jay-
up with his left?
But Jay, understand it. I have a whole host of reasons. As a Laker fan, Larry Bird was our absolute.
He was an
hated-
adversary. Yes.
Hated Larry Bird.
Yes.
Being a New Yorker, we hated Boston teams, so I had double reasons to hate Larry Bird. Nevertheless,
And-
there's one thing I never could take away from Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a in my estimation, if you mention the top 10 basketball players of all time and you do not mention Larry Bird, I have no respect for your vote. I'm just going to tell you the truth. That's how much I respect Larry Bird as a basketball player. Having said that, let me say this to you. It is no easy thing for me to say to you that when I watch Luka Doncic, and I haven't watched Luka Doncic 82, I've watched enough of Luka Doncic to say, look, when the volume is down and I'm watching the game, he's that kind of player that you say, who is that guy? And then in watching him do so, here's what I'm only offer this to you. If you put a player like Luka Doncic in a system like Larry Bird played in, with a coach and role players, if you put Luka Doncic in such a system right now, if you put Luka Doncic on the Toronto Raptors or the Golden State Warriors, the only question I would ask you in closing is, what can he not do?
He's not the heady player that Bird was. He's not. And unlike Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, Larry Bird was
He
real.
may not be as heady. Larry Bird is rare in terms of his headiness. That's why I said I prefaced my commentary by saying, if you don't mention Bird in your top whatever, I don't have no respect for that post.
Right,
So
gotcha.
we know that. Nevertheless, we're talking about this particular player, and not that he is. I'm only saying he's reminiscent of a time where there's a player on the court, and
And that's fair. That's fair. I don't argue that. I don't argue that.
think he's more. I think he plays like a Tracy McGrady type player. Nevertheless, it's hard to not miss the comparisons between this young player, this 6'9" player in Boston, and this guy who came in the league, and both of them, from different corners of the respect in terms of basketball, people are just watching them like, man, can he really? And then they come and they play in a way where it's like, nah, not only can I play, but I'm here to do some other things with you. I'm taking this personal. This is what I really do. And and here's what I'm talking about, Jay. I mean that when I watch that guy, he seemed like the kind of ball player you and I would like. But we pick him up on the dirt.
That's all fair.
So,
I don't disagree with that.
That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's all.
no.
I'm not saying he is Larry Bird. I'm just saying he's reminiscent of that.
Okay, that's fair. I get that. I get that. All right, Double J, we go back to you. Who do you have as your sixth man of the year?
Well,
Oh, boy.
I'm
Here comes the soliloquy.
sure- I mean,
Double J.A. Smith. Go ahead.
Hang on. The question very much becomes how the voters themselves, because you could look at Rudy Gobert's numbers and say, well, of course, based on his size and him coming back after all those injuries, that he put up one heck of a season defensively. Giannis, again, you can't, if you're going to give him the MVP, of course, he's a strong candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year. But again, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Giannis on this one.
As the sixth man?
You said the Defensive Player of the Year.
No, I'm sorry. I said sixth man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
Definitely.
Yeah, make mine's a double. Patron, huh? I got you. All right. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Sixth man is synonymous with Lou Williams.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Lou Williams.
Yeah, sweet Lou all day, every day. But even though I would give honorable mention to Montrezl Harrell. I don't know how you pronounce his first name.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, Montrezl Harrell. He would get my honorable mention. But yeah, sweet Lou, hands down, man. That you want to talk about a scoring machine, man? That dude's smooth as butter. when it comes to putting the ball in the basket. It's been rare. I don't want to say rare. In all my years of watching the NBA, I couldn't tell you what their stats were. But it's 3-4 guys. When you talk about six man, it's 3-4 guys that just stand out. Every time we broach the subject, they just pop into my head, man. And I just remember watching them, man. They just, with ease, I'm like, man, how do these guys score with just such ease? Seems effortless. Vinnie Johnson, Andrew Toney, Sweet Lou, and it's one more. Who was my other six man? Oh, I can't think of his name.
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, and Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah,
Gotta be Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, Jamal Crawford. Yeah. It just, them dudes, man, they just, I don't know. That's, to me, that's an art form in and of itself, man, the way they put the ball in the basket.
That's absolutely right. And Andrew Toney and Vinnie Johnson, they showed us that they introduced us to this is an art form. To take pride in running that second unit and coming off. So you're absolutely right. I couldn't disagree with anything both of you said in terms of Sweet Lou in terms of six man.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go other than that.
Yeah, that's a wash basically. Six man, we all agree on that. That Sweet Lou is the six man of the year. Okay, now we get to Double J's favorite subject, even though he was 10 minutes ahead of everybody else. But hey, better to be early than late. Defensive player of the year. Brother Rich?
I have to go with Giannis. Double J said it earlier, and I just agreed with him on that. I totally have to go with that. Giannis played the kind of defense. Remember, Giannis is that, and I like him because he doesn't just play one side of the court. And to be that aggressive on both ends of the court, oh, man, you take that with him because he's a force to be reckoned with now. So, Giannis.
Well, I'm picking Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, even though a case could be made for Paul George. I did that on purpose. Yes, indeed, I did. I had y'all stunned like, what in the world? Let me change my channel. What, did I miss something here? Yeah, I'm picking Lawrence Taylor. LT.
No, we was wondering who. Now, me and Double J probably wondered at the same time, who's really drinking the Patron?
Double J, your silence is golden. Yeah, but there's some who will make a case for Paul George. You wouldn't make a case for Paul George, Double J?
No, of course I could, but again,
it'd be a waste of time.
You got to look at it from both. Yeah, there's no way they're going to award it to anybody else.
Yeah, Paul George had it for a minute though, the first portion of the season. But as they say, it ain't how you start; it's how you finish. And Giannis was like that from start to finish. So I'm saying that too, defensive player of the year. But you know what? I'm almost kind of ashamed to even admit this, but no, they don't do the. Oh no, it's when they do the all defensive teams. They do a first tier, second tier, third tier. That's right. Defensive player of the year is singular. Okay, yeah, Giannis. So you say Giannis too, right, Brother Rich? Yep.
Absolutely.
And Double J, we all agree on that. It should be Giannis. Man, Giannis filling up all these categories. I hope he get extra money for all of this at some point. All right. What about most improved player? Now, I say it's fair to say Siakam, Raptor Siakam. But my pick is the Kings, De'Aaron Fox. For him, no growth period was necessary. That boy came right in, and man, he is a floor general. He is a floor general. I am so looking forward to watching the Kings, and especially that combination, him and Bagley Jr., come this upcoming season. On my little NBA TV package or whatever the case may be. Y'all need to check out YouTube TV. That's all the plug I'm going to give them, though. But, yeah, check it out. I'm looking forward to seeing them dudes, man. What about you, Brother Rich? Who's your most improved player?
I am absolutely listening. I think that I have to agree with you on that. Because, again, he came with it. And they're playing in Sacramento. And they came with it. Mm-hmm. And their draft makes them even more interesting going into next year. And I think that another thing about De'Aaron Fox is the fact that Lonzo and the Lakers season fell off so badly, it even highlighted him more doing what he did in terms of his consistency and improving and doing what he did this year to add so much potential to that team as probably being even maybe a better team in California than even the Lakers next year. So, I think that's very interesting mix. I agree with you on that.
Dang, brother Rich, you got everybody better than the Lakers. Even Matter Day. And they known for football. The high school team. What's going on with that, man? Did you give up your season tickets to Staples? Are they building a new arena?
No, I just know that. I just know that no matter how great the two are in this league, two can't beat five. Just know that. The Warriors have shown that. The Golden State has shown two cannot beat five. We got to flesh out our team. We don't have any teams.
Yeah, Double J, who's your MIP, your most improved player?
Without a doubt, Siakam. If you look at statistically the other two, and you guys brought up very good points, but D'Angelo Russell, had a great season. Of course, so did De'Aaron Fox. Both, kind of single-handedly willed their team. But Siakam was a difference maker in getting that team over the hump. Without Siakam, I don't think they're NBA champions.
That's fair. But you throw in D-Lo, I'll say this. He went a long stretch without even getting to the free throw line. You got to be careful the volume that these, the scoring that these guys are putting up because they cloud, what's really going on, the root cause of it all, so to speak. But I don't knock D-Lo. D-Lo did. He did. He showed up. He showed out. I mean, and you mentioned that about Siakam. Yeah, I would have to give him the edge because he was a big factor. He was a big factor. Could you give it to? I don't know. Would Van Vliet fall in line with that in that category? Maybe no. Double J. Boy.
He showed up when it mattered most, but
Siakam was more
for the 82 games, he did not.
Okay, I got you. And then last on the list is Coach of the Year. We got Bucks Budenholzer, Nuggets Malone, and, of course, Doc Rivers for the Clippers. In my estimation, man, it's really hard to say. I mean, it would depend on, what you're using to measure, what criteria or whatever, and which one carries more weight. You give it to Budenholzer because his team, the Bucks got further in the playoffs, and Giannis might be defensive player and MVP. Or you give it to Doc because they took the Warriors to 2 games, got 2 games from the Warriors when it seemed like nobody else could or, in quite some time or whatever the case may be. Or, look at what the Nuggets did too, So, how much weighs what and what do you give the weight to, Brother Rich?
Budenholzer in Milwaukee. Here's what I look at as criteria. I don't give it to Doc because, he just managed to hold his team together. Let's be honest. They didn't do much. They had a great season, nevertheless. This is Doc Rivers we're talking about. He's won titles. So let's move that out the way. We're talking now about the Milwaukee Bucks, team that is emerging out of nowhere and is now an NBA powerhouse, which most people can't name 3 people on that team. So obviously he is a coach that's managing the ego of a potentially – now he's not potential. He's a superstar. He's a budding superstar in the league. And a bunch of other players that he's managing. He's not a coach that has any kind of reputation in them himself. So he himself has to stay within himself to manage those kind of egos, to be in a quote-unquote small market, I think without a doubt. For what they've done for the year, for his ability to keep all of that in check and himself in check, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I can hear you on all of that. Like I said, though, for me, it's just still a toss-up because I'd be all day trying to pick one. What about you, Double J?
Well, I'm actually going to go a little bit differently. I am going to give it to Doc Rivers, simply because if you look at the team, Budenholzer clearly had, as Brother Rich pointed out, an emerging superstar. Doc Rivers had to maximize his roster from top to bottom.
That's fair too.
He had the slimmest picking any of that group. You could make a case for Denver's coach because again they had the number 1 spot, throughout the year, no different than Milwaukee, battling with Toronto there. But when it came to who coached his team to the playoffs, hands down Doc Rivers, because they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, both of you all make fair points though. That's why, and you all you really did was just.
But he's right because I'm a Laker fan, so you got to take points away. He's right because I don't regard the Clippers like that. I'm a Lakers fan, so there is some bias.
Yeah,
He's
but
more
you
right than me.
but you tell
You
the
gotta be
truth
honest.
about the Clippers though being the front runners now in LA too though. So but you again, both of you all bring up fair points, which is why I said, you know, that it's really hard to pick. To tell you the truth, all three I think are more than worthy of it. You know, so whoever wins it, you know,
I think Budenholzer is going to get it because he's the new guy on the block. He's the new kid on the block, and to bring this kind of thing to championship potential, I think you know the league is going to appreciate that. And remember now, he's the small market guy. That's the story you want to root for in the NBA.
Yeah, I think that may be a factor as well. All right, staying with basketball, let's take a look back. Boy, that didn't even sound right. Let us take a look back at the 2019 NBA draft. I had a couple questions. Double J mentioned it when we discussed the draft initially in terms of who we picked and who would get picked and so on and so forth. And he mentioned Darius Garland. That's really what this next one is about. It's centered around Darius Garland. Now, of course, the Cavs selected Darius Garland. I forget the other gentleman's name that they selected. The two other guys, and one of the guys. What was the third guy that the Cavs selected? Double J. His name doesn't come right off the top of my head.
You know what? It slips my mind at the moment as well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this guy was supposed to be a top heralded guy. It'll come to me eventually. There we go. Can't do a show without senility showing up, right? But anyway, you know, I've always asked the question, you know, and my premise is what we mentioned before about what Tony Dungy said when it comes to drafting and so on and so forth, hit or miss, pick, yada, yada, yada. So I asked this question, and speaking on behalf of the Cavs, and then, Brother Rich, you can speak on behalf of whatever team you like, and you too, Double J, whatever NBA team you like for this particular portion of the show. And then fans out there who are listening, they can, of course, again, go to the shop's page and then weigh in on what team they like. But I asked, did Cavs GM Kobe Altman minimize the risk with this year's selections? You know, be careful what you copy. I get it with the addition of Darius. And, of course, already having my man Colin Sexton. You know, the Cavs wanting to evaluate, you know, or emulate this Dame and CJ concept. But I asked this question, though, with a guy like Garland, who only played in 5 games as a freshman. And, I mean, at the end of the day, with the climate, you know, of basketball looking more like, what could I say, the climate, you know, just global warming. Can we really, really bet the farm on these guys at this point? Because the question really, really is.
Yes. Cleveland can. Cleveland can.
I just don't see the complimentary aspect to it. I thought that this when you're making selections, you have to get complimentary players. If you got a 2, you don't go get another 2. If you got a 3, you don't go get another 3.
But here's the thing, Jay. We have to factor in. By the time Zion is off the board and the quote-unquote big 3 or 4, however you see it, we're off the board.
I see. I know
you're drafting now.
I know where you're going.
At a certain level, and you're drafting now for different reasons as opposed to I got the number 1 draft pick. I believe, I'm just telling you the truth, that I believe that's a great pick for Cleveland because of the market that they're in. Because here's a young man with something to prove. He needs to prove himself at this level for whatever reason. But it becomes a good fit when you have, hopefully, the plan is to do, we remember the TMC. That's what I thought they were trying to do, the TMC, Oakland, quote-unquote, old Golden State Warriors model.
Chris Mullin.
And run and gun and run and shoot. Yeah, and make it exciting basketball that makes you want to come. Yes, I think that's what they're looking for.
Okay, Double J, before you respond, let me say this too, though. Well, yeah, Brother Rich, who's the Nurkic then in that case? Because you can't. Here's why. Another reason why I say you got to be careful what you copy. If you look at it, CJ and Dame because that's what it looks like. Again, the Cavs are trying to copy Portland. They balance each other out very, very well. They complement. They're very complementary to each other, but you can see the differences in their game, even though they're both ball handlers, so to speak. CJ being more of a floor general, whereas Dame being more of a he put him up. But they had a Nurkic in that mix. And early on, it was a lot of conversation about Portland really, really making some noise because I think at some point they hadn't gotten past the second round or something or another, whatever it is. And Nurkic had a lot to do with that, of course, before he went down and broke his leg. But who's their Nurkic in this case? Or even their Kantner, Enes Kantner. But before you weigh in, just give that some thought, Brother Rich. Go ahead, Double J. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to say Kevin Love is for Cleveland.
Yeah, but there's some talk about K. Love going to Portland.
Yep. But again, there's for the moment though, that clearly gives you a little bit of a line of sight if he's on Portland's radar, and if Cleveland's trying to imitate that shows they're right in the ballpark.
No. Kevin Love is on Portland. I'm not sure I follow you. Kevin Love is on Portland's radar. So you know what I mean? I don't see what you mean by
right. So if you're trying to create a system similar to Portland, you already have a player that they desire. So that reiterates that that's your guy, because it's certainly not Tristan Thompson.
So you're saying the Cavs need to get a Kevin Love type player if Kevin Love were to go to Portland?
They would have to be able to duplicate it.
Yeah. Because, you're right.
Jay, I think what we're saying, remember now, you're saying Portland, but let's be real now, basketball-wise. I think what we're seeing, let's look at it that way. What we're seeing in the NBA is an acceptance of what you've longed for in truth, build through the draft and build a team. And so here's the model. I suggest. I don't suggest the model is Portland. The model is Golden State. They're trying to be like Clay and Steph and build around that. Strong guards that get along, that are coached well, that then you build through the draft with people who have good work ethic, and all of these teams are doing this. This is what's happening now. And so that's where we find our model more consistently is the Golden State Warriors and what they've been able to accomplish. And so you see Houston tried it, and that's what they were going for in Chris Paul and James Harden. James Harden is just the kind of player that he was not going to release the ball. It happens to work with Clay and Steph, and everybody thinks they can do that. It works with Dame and CJ, and everybody thinks they can do that. But whether or not it works in every other locale is the question.
So, Double J, being a Michigan guy, Beeline is what's best for Garland and Sexton. And in that instance, if you're saying yes to that, then who's the shooting guard? You're making Garland the 2 and Sexton the 1?
Correct. Absolutely. Or vice versa. Again, though, that's something you want to tune into the summer league for, just to get a better eye in terms of what the team is expecting. Because again, you're talking about ball distribution, you're talking about shot selection, and then of course, you as we just discussed, you're looking for an athletic 4 and 5 that you can run the pick and roll with, and that can be a threat from deep.
Yeah, but let me tell you this too, though, about the Cavs, and I'm all for it. Hey, build a team like Brother Rich said. Let a star emerge. George Karl, the whole 9. The Cavs were one of the worst teams in team assists last season. No good. No matter how good Garland and Sexton might be together, they got to do something about that. They got to, because you can't even make the playoffs. And to some, we talked about it. Cavs might be trying to get back in the lottery. Some people saying they're not. They're not. So hey, then if you're not,
well, my pet peeve, I think you always leave out when it comes to these conversations, Jay, is coaching.
Oh no!
What coach do they? No, it has
Yep.
to be, Jay. What system is gonna be installed, and what coach are we gonna put to manage the talent? Because we cannot.
That's why I'm asking. Is
look
Beeline the
past
guy?
coaching.
Is Beeline that guy?
Yeah. I don't know if you paid close attention to Beeline's system at Michigan, but if you look at the guys that he had, he went for a strong four. You know,
Yeah,
that's
he
where
had
you've seen guys
Brest
like
and
Brest-Dakis.
yeah, he had
That's
Brest
like
Dakis and
yeah.
Wagner or somebody or whatever.
Yep. Which he's on the Lakers. So if you look at his system, though, it is backcourt dominated.
The Los
It
Angeles Fakers.
Pick and roll.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that is what the plan of attack is. He's going to have them. I'm not going to go out on the limb and say contending, but they will be likely fighting for the number 2 spot in the Central Division.
What happened?
And arguably a playoff.
Hold it. Slow down there, Kemosabe. I'm gonna need you to put the glass down. I'm gonna need you to back up. Put the glass down. Back up. Put your hands behind your back. What in the hockey sticks did you just say? Who is contending for number 2, and in what division of what sport?
Well, we're still talking basketball.
Yes.
And
Okay.
we're talking the East Conference Division.
Okay.
Of course, Milwaukee is going to be that number 1 spot.
Okay.
However, fighting for number 2 and 3, I actually put Cleveland because of coaching and the acquisition above with the current roster. Again, assuming Kevin Love does not leave, because I actually believe he fits the system better. It would be better to unload Tristan Thompson than Kevin Love.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Up to that point.
So
That's forthcoming.
Based on the system that Beeline runs, he's got the gunners in the backcourt. If they can figure this out, they will be a playoff team next year.
Let it be duly noted that Double J has gone on the record officially and said that the Cavs could be fighting for the potentially, maybe, the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference next season. Ooh, Double J.
No. I said the division. But I'm saying they're going to likely be the 6th seed, 5 or 6 in the East.
Okay, got you. Ooh, I'm glad that was even still. I'm glad you corrected that. But my gosh, 5 or 6, boy, you all in the skydiving. My goodness,
Jay,
aren't you supposed to have?
You act like the Central.
Beeline at West Virginia, and I've watched him at Michigan, and that guy turns things around in a hurry. There's very few coaches that I will give that much credit to have that capability. And the reason why I said he would be number 2 in the division is because I actually value him more based on what I've seen.
Okay.
And I want to see if it translates to the pro game more than Dwayne Casey. Because, again, we saw what Nick Nurse was capable of doing in Toronto. And despite Dwayne Casey being named the coach of the year via the players. And, if I'm telling you now, if it works, you're going to want to actually, well, it's assuming you don't move and relocate here, but you're going to want to actually get some season tickets while they're cheap.
Stop it. Stop. You know what? You and Brother Rich, y'all got this Super Bowl parade so heavily on y'all's minds. I'm thinking y'all come to the debate table here with y'all shoes on the wrong feet, man. What in the world is going on? I wish somebody would pass me some, man. Something.
Jay, you act like the Central Division is stacked in terms of. And here's the thing: I know you're not going to.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't go that far.
Wild thought. The NBA is going to have more talent in it in terms of balance this upcoming season than ever before in the modern era.
Yeah, I won't argue that.
Players and teams are trying to build correctly and understanding how you do this, how you build it, how you can build winners. Everybody can't play in LA or New York, so some players are accepting of the fact that, look, I'm going to play in Toronto, I'm going to play in this. you see these things, Milwaukee, you see these teams now building themselves through the draft like you asked them to, and they're doing it, actually doing it. I don't know how we can ignore that and neglect that, and I don't disagree with Double J at all in terms of what the Cavs potentially can do. I don't disagree with that.
And I'm not knocking the influx of talent. It's far more greater than what it once was. I'm not knocking that. My question is, you know, hey, with all this talent, I hope at some point the other side of this thing kind of match up to, you know, when it comes to skill. I do not want to see no more 8-9 minutes go by in a game of bad possessions. That's all. That's all I'm saying, Brother Rich. We talking about basketball right here. I'm just flipping the coin over as I usually do. You know this. I don't knock the talent level, but my goodness, too many doinks, and they ain't good for your health. You know what I mean? You know, I seen Shaq tear a rim down, you know, from dunking. But these dudes nowadays, man, they going to tear one down from all the bad threes. Yo, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean it. You all do this, okay? I just want to let y'all know. I wouldn't even be going down this road if y'all wouldn't antagonizing me, man. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, y'all done, you know, built a kinship on the Browns. You know what I mean? Y'all trying to do, it's like the Supremes or something. You know, y'all trying to push me to the back. Ain't going to be none of that, okay? They ain't nothing without me, Shelly. All right. So, Double J says Beeline is the guy. Brother Rich says that scoring averages will go up in the NBA next season for individual players and teams as well. So we're looking in the range of what, Brother Rich, next year for NBA games? Scores being maybe, 200 to 199? Is that what we're looking at here? Help me out now.
You see what I have to put up with Double J? See what I have to put up with? This is what I just for my honesty. This keeps keeping it real with our brother and friend.
Hey man. Oh boy. I wouldn't be me if I didn't do that. Okay, switching gears. Let's get to today's last subject of the day. That's the NFL's 10 best wide receivers. Now, I got a little bias here, I guess. I get these notifications from Panther Wire, Carolina Panthers. I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's like a newsletter, paper, or whatever it is. But, you know, they talk about the Panthers, of course. But, you know, every now and again they'll throw something out there in general, which is we need to start doing more of, and we will. But they had this top 10 NFL best wide receivers up there. I'm getting to looking at this list. And even though my boy's on it, what took me to Panthers Wire was something in the Facebook thread. Some guy, and I don't know if you saw this, Double J, put up a top 5. No, it was David Carr's top 5 wide receivers. Did you see that, Double J?
I have.
Can you believe if I'm John Gruden, I'm putting some baby powder on and I'm slapping the crap out of David Carr? Can you believe that he did not have DeAndre Hopkins on his list? Can you believe that?
No, I can believe that.
Okay. So we're gonna go through the list because I found a few on here that, you know, a couple of y'all, you know, not a couple of y'all, but, you know, we might be a couple on here that, you know, you all might be in agreement with or in disagreement with. I just thought it was interesting. I like the list, actually, I do. You know, I'm not real big on this, who are your top 5, because some of them are just fandom-based all the way. But this one actually got a little teeth to it, so to speak. So we're going to start at 10. Panther Wire has A.J. Green, Bengals A.J. Green listed at number 10. And just for the sake of argument here, and just to add a little bit of icing on this cake, so to speak, we'll throw in some numbers from last year for each one of these guys. 77 targets, 46 receptions, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns, A.J. Green. Are you all okay with him being at number 10 on this top 10 list? Brother Rich?
I can see that.
Okay, what about you, Double J?
No.
So
No, I think he's arguably the most overrated wide receiver.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to all of that. Hold that thought. I like that in you. Yeah, see, now we're getting real saucy here. All right, at number 9, Juju Smith-Schuster, Steelers. 166 targets, 111 catches, 1,426 yards and 7 touchdowns. Are you okay with him being at number 9, Double J?
Yeah.
What about you, Brother Rich?
Absolutely.
Okay. I actually think he should be listed higher, but let's keep going. At number 8 is Mike Evans for the Bucks. 139 targets, 86 catches. That's a bad ratio to me. But anyway, he did have 1,521 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Oh, don't do that to him.
No, I'm not. I like Mike Evans. We're not getting ready to break it down just yet, Double J. Slow down there, Kimo Sabe. Slow down there. You okay with him at 8, though, Double J?
I'm not. He should be lower.
Lower as in closer to 1? Because we started at 10 now. Or lower as in, okay, well, technically higher, but I get you. Okay. What about you, Brother Rich? You cool with Mike Evans at 8?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it, but then I'm 50-50, and they say do not waver. I can't help it in this case because I like him, but then he could be higher, he could be lower. Okay, at number I'm looking at this next one, and I definitely would have him at number 7. But who they have at number 7 here on this list is Adam Thielen for the Vikings, 153 targets, 113 catches, 1,373 yards, 9 touchdowns. Now, a case could be made, Brother Rich, you think, for Mike Evans being at 7, despite he only had one more touchdown than Mike Evans. But I think Mike Evans would be better. A case could be made for him to be at 7 and Thielen at 8. Really, Thielen could be at 9, tell you the truth.
Okay.
Tell you the truth. I like Thielen. What about you, Double J? What you think? At 7, Adam Thielen.
No, I think if you were to do that, that's not fair to Stephon Diggs.
So wait, whoa. You saying Stephon Diggs is better than Adam Thielen? Period.
Correct. Simply put, there's the yin to the yang there, but this is why I value Mike Evans. I mean, I'll go into it a little bit further if you allow, but
okay.
Overall, no, he should be closer to 10.
Go ahead, elaborate right quick.
Well, again, when you look at these systems, there's a lot of people that eat when there's 2 sharks in the pond. And so that means you have to be leery of both.
Okay.
And so that allows somebody to sneak up behind you.
Okay.
Again, when you look at a system like Tampa's, which has a atrocious quarterback, not that Kirk Cousins is that much better there in Minnesota, but he has a number of weapons, including Kyle Rudolph at tight end. And, of course, a solid running game. If you were to look at Tampa, it's completely different. Quarterback atrocious, receiving core around him atrocious, tight end average, running game non-existent.
You sound like you got a little Calvin Johnson saltiness in there right there, or maybe even talking about a Larry Fitzgerald type. That sounds like some Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson stuff. Double J. We ain't here for that today. Now, you know what I mean. I know you mad at Matt. What was his name? What was the guy's name? The GM y'all had, the Lions had a couple years ago.
Lionart.
Yeah. No, Matt
Millen.
Matt Millen. Yeah, it sounds like you still mad at Matt Millen. I get it because there's a lot of Browns folks are still mad at Art Modell. I'm hoping that he resting in peace. At number 6 on this list, we got the Saints' Michael Thomas. 147 targets, 125 catches, 1,405 yards, 9 touchdowns. Should he be higher? Even though we haven't gone through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just based off what we've got.
I would have thought he was lower.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't even want to hear it. It's arguably this guy. Keep in mind who his uncle is.
Oh Lord, I didn't know his uncle factored into this. But go ahead, who's his uncle? Derek Thomas.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh Lord, pass me the ball. I get it. All right, see, Double J. I told you not to read that book.
There, route runners. And They both have the ability to go up and get it. Of course, he's the beneficiary of having a Hall of Fame quarterback from, of course, Purdue and Drew Brees. But, nevertheless, this guy is a workhorse. He's someone who's double and triple covered and is able to come down with these footballs. He's in my opinion, he should be in the top 3.
Yeah, I was just getting ready. You took the words right out of my mind. I was going to say that, too, because I'm sitting here looking at the list, and I would say that, too. He would be definitely be in the top 3. Actually, I would have Juju Schuster a whole lot closer to 1, too. Okay, because at number 5, I don't know where you all going to go, which direction y'all going on this one, but they got Tyreek Hill, Chiefs, 137 targets, 87 catches, 1479 on the yardage, and 12 touchdowns. So is he legit at 5? Or are we looking at maybe Michael Thomas?
I think he has to be because of his quarterback.
Well, I don't know, Double. That's a good one, though. What you say, Double J?
Yeah, I think it's this is Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb type of combination in Andy Reid's offense.
Yeah.
But again, he can be ranked somewhere between 7 to 5, but the numbers are great.
I think so, too. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. At number 4, they got Brother Rich's boy, OBJ. Brother Rich, can I get a dog pound? Woof, woof.
Come on now. Absolutely dog pound.
Okay, all right there. All right.
Well, that's self-explanatory. What's your favorite saying? What's
already understood need not be explained. But let me give you his numbers last season, too, though. 124 targets, 77 catches, 1052. That's 1,052 yards and 6 touchdowns. So really, realistically, and we understand all the drama that was going on with the Giants last year. We know what OBJ is as a talent, and nobody's knocking that. But we're just saying for the purpose of this list so far, realistically, should he be at number 4, Brother Rich?
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh, the emphaticness of it all.
Dog pound. Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Why did I ask him first? I don't even know. I walked right into that one, It's like being texted on your phone walking down the street and you run into a mailbox. But go ahead, Double J. What you say, man? Is it fair for OBJ to be
think
here?
about this for a moment.
Uh-oh.
I want you to chew on this for a moment. What made him famous wasn't his college days. It was him bailing out Eli the Terrible on a pass that was overthrown and him showing his Superman-like abilities. And so is he deserving? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. His best days are yet still to come here.
Okay. Okay, so wait a minute. I got a little sidebar, and it's not a mini sidebar. You mentioned Eli Manning. Let's sidebar on Eli for a minute. Now, I'm not Eli one way or another, okay? But I hear this argument about him all the time, whether he's this or he's that, or is he Hall of Fame? And I'm trying to figure out, when people are making or having these conversations about other players in other sports and all the things they're using to validate why a guy is or to unvalidate or devalidate or invalidate why a guy ain't, how can you ignore that this dude beat the New England Patriots? Because on the flip side, folks give Tom Brady, deservedly so, and Bill Belichick, deservedly so, and the New England Patriots, deservedly so, all the credit for all of the things that they were able to do under whatever the case may be.
Stop.
This dude beat the New England Patriots twice, but here's the killer part. This is the NFL we're talking about. Ask Dan Marino what it's like to get back to a Super Bowl. Huh? And on the flip side, ask John Elway what it's like to go there 37 times and lose by 30 each time until you get a Terrell Davis. And number 3, if I'm not mistaken, with all due respect to my man from Rand University, Randy Moss, no question about no other cat, with due respect to Jerry Rice, the Patriots were undefeated. Moss had his best season ever as a wide receiver in NFL and probably, arguably, other than Jerry Rice, the best of any receiver that year. And Eli Manning went in there and derailed him. Now, give credit all day, every day to the Giants.
David Tyree.
And that listen, hey, look. Hold on, Double J. Hold on. I know you chomping at the bit. You know what I'm saying? I know you ready to run the Preakness. Hold on. He went in there and beat them dudes twice, man. Regardless of whose name was on the back of the jersey, they called it. You had to make the play in the moment. Look what we say about Robert Horry. You know what I'm saying? Robert Horry is way on a different level than the David Tyree. Different sport, but the concept is the same. We don't know what Robert Horry averaged as for a career, points per game. I don't. I could Google it and still wouldn't know. But we all have lasting impressions of how many game time winning shots he hit. You got to make the play when your number is called, Double J. Don't be mad at David Tyree, quote unquote, because he made the play in the moment. And then what about the second time? This is the vaunted Patriots. And really, to tell you the truth, hold on, wait a minute.
You're giving too much credit to Eli.
Wait a minute. I'm just saying, this is a quarterback-driven league. We talking about the NFL. Every other quarterback get his just due. With all due respect to Tom Brady now, and Brett Favre and Peyton Manning, and the ones that ain't no good like the Derek Andersons and so on and so forth, how bad in this case, maybe in a small box, do it make Tom Brady look that he got beat by Eli twice? If we're going to give Brady credit for being 5-time hoister of the Lombardi, on the flip side, you're just going to take all of it away from Eli? Come on, I'm trying to figure out how is one good for the goose, but ain't none good for the gander. And I'm not saying Eli is no elite. I'm not saying no none of that now. Right? You beat Tom Brady once. All right. I wouldn't be one of them. But I'll entertain a discussion of it was an accident. Accidents do happen. But you go back and beat it twice when, again, Marino ain't been there but once. And we know as an individual what type of QB he was. The Pittsburgh Cannon. That 1983 draft, NFL draft, still to this day is head and shoulders above any of them, probably before and after. Huh? And Eli did it twice. I'm just saying, Double J. The facts are there. Come on, Brother Richard. Can I get one? Facts. Can I? No, I can't get one. I know you.
No, actually, you can't. Actually, you can't because.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say this. I agree. I agree with Double J in that most people in New York don't think Eli did that. They think the defense did that, and they think a miraculous play did that. That's what did that.
And the second one?
This guy just went along for the ride. Fact. People believe that he just went along for the ride, as similar to when Baltimore won their title. Nobody gives that to their quarterback. We barely know who that guy was. We know that Ray Lewis and that defense was about their business.
No. Eli didn't play in that one.
New York.
No, Eli didn't play in that one. That was Trent Dilfer.
No. I'm just saying we remember. That's my point. We don't even remember Trent Dilfer. We remember.
I do.
We remember the defense of Baltimore. We remember the defense of the Giants. We don't remember Eli. We remember Eli as, okay, let's hope he don't lose the game for us. It just happened he won. He was on the winning side. That's all it was.
Okay, so wait a minute. You sitting here really not implying. You're suggesting that in any other case, with any other quarterback, to do the exact same thing, let it have been Baker Mayfield do the same thing playing in New York against Tom Brady. See, he didn't do this against Trent Dilfer because Kerry Collins couldn't even get it done against Trent Dilfer, even though that Ravens defense was led by my man from the U, Ed Reed. I'm through with Ray Lewis. But anyway, Eli did it. Okay, so you really, all I'm asking is, how do we dismiss in a quarterback-driven league every other quarterback, Aaron Rodgers included, only have done it once? Every other quarterback that is somewhat worthy of mention to do the same things or to win and whatever. But Eli did it twice. How many NFL quarterbacks can say they did it twice? And he just a guy that did it once, oh my gosh, put all the reporters in front of his table. Guy do it twice, I just don't get it. I
But
don't
Jay,
get
are
it.
we overlooking?
That's too big.
I can give you. I gave you an example in Trent Dilfer. You mentioned. I didn't even remember who it was. Trent Dilfer.
And
I
Kerry
can give you
Collins.
another one. Eli's brother, Peyton Manning, when he went to Denver, he didn't win that championship. The defense won that championship, and so he was there. And it was just don't make too many mistakes. Don't overdo anything. And just come along for this ride. Just do your little part. But really, they faced a better quarterback in Cam Newton, and all of us thought that Cam Newton was going to
A better talent, not a better quarterback. Okay, but I'm with you.
But the fact is, the defense said, "No, we're gonna win. This is our race." And everybody that looked at that game knows that Super Bowl was won not by Peyton Manning, not by the offense. It was won by the defense. They put fear in Cam Newton's heart, like he did not expect that particular day. So much so that they could mock him after the game and say they literally punked him.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. All of that. Again, I'm asking. I'm not disagreeing with your sentiment, Brother Rich, at all. What I'm saying is Eli Manning went up against the standard, not the substandard, the standard of the NFL twice. We're talking about the New England Patriots. We're not talking about the Minnesota Vikings.
Tom Coughlin did.
Oh, stop it.
Coughlin.
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay,
Absolutely.
Look, I'm a Tom Coughlin fan. I remember them days in Jacksonville with my man Mark Brunell, Tony Baselli, Fred Taylor. I remember all that.
Exactly.
I remember all of that, Double J. But
now,
in a quarterback-driven league,
a Hall of Fame quarterback to you?
What's say that again?
Is Mark Brunell a Hall of Fame quarterback to you?
Yes. 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 To me, yes.
He has to be. He has to be kidding. He has to be kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I love him. But
I'm not kidding.
He took a little bit too much Patron before he got on here.
I'm not kidding.
That double was a little too much.
It was his Patron.
I'm not kidding. Well,
he charged us with Patron, but it's really him.
Well,
I love him. That's my brother, and I love him. Ride or die. But I gotta, tell you what it is. You just don't take him seriously. He's not joking.
I'm not joking. You're darn right. I'm not joking.
Listeners, this man is a brilliant mind. This brother is a brilliant mind. Don't take him seriously on this. I've known this young man for many, many years. He's a brilliant mind. Don't take this seriously. Go ahead, sir.
Double J, you swear, but Donald Igwe is the best kicker of all time in NFL. I know I ain't crazy, but here's the killer part. Okay, so y'all think I'm off my rocker? Either one of you have yet to explain to me how a guy who's so trash in a quarterback-driven league has managed to beat the NFL standard in the last 20 years, so to speak. Well, I can't say 20.
Okay, so are you ready? Are you ready?
Hold on.
Answer this?
How explain how he beat him twice so we can finish our list.
I will. I'll give you three general facts.
Okay.
First would be the old school coaching mindset. So second, the simple philosophy that they run, which again, with an average quarterback, you want a game manager. Thirdly, ultimately the attention to detail. So for example, Coughlin's system is heavy on in route. Again, generally speaking, it doesn't matter if it's a good quarterback, bad quarterback, you can hit your receiver's general targeting area. They can make the play for you. When they made an adjustment, they went away from that in route, and it literally won them the game.
Okay.
Team Nick.
I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening. Are you done?
No. And again, it was defensive heavy. They beat them inside of the trenches.
Okay, because I got something for that. I got something for all of that. Yeah, that was a nice.
But again, there were no. It was Tom Coughlin's overall record. He has a winning record against Bill Belichick.
Yes, he does.
Now, you name quarterback driven, defensive driven. I don't care who's driving the car. Who has a winning record against Bill Belichick?
Okay, that's fair. I'm not. That's those all criteria. If we're using all of that, Then let's keep going down the criterion line. And this is the last thing before we get back to our list. The throw that he made, I don't remember which one he was. See, because here's what I have about. I used to tell this friend of mine, I'm not saying you and Brother Rich in this case, because I'm enjoying this little back and forth. But I used to tell this one guy, he talked so terrible about a player when this player was wearing jersey A. When the player put on jersey B, all of a sudden this guy's assessment of that player was entirely different. I said that's a bass awkward logic. I'm not saying you or Brother Rich. I'm not. I'm just saying in general. If we're going to give credit to any other quarterback for what I'm about to say, then you have to give Eli that same credit. The throw that he made, whichever Super Bowl it was, I don't remember, to Mario Manningham down the sideline, I guarantee that's not a throw. It's been Super Bowl winning Super Bowl quarterbacks, that cannot make that throw. That throw is not that's not no yawner, because I promise you, in a quarterback-driven league, let Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, let McNabb or Cam make that same throw, because the game was hanging in the balance. Everybody wants to remember the Tyree moment. But see, I like to dissect all those moments, because for me, the biggest moment comes from the accumulation of other moments. Like my man Mos Def would say when it comes to, how many straws did it take to break that camel's back? Here's the secret. The million straws, the one straw underneath it. I'm looking at the accumulation of them all for that one moment, so to speak. What led up to that? Eli made that throw. Give me 5 quarterbacks. Because y'all remember that moment. We all remember that moment. I know you remember that moment, Brother Rich, because you're a New Yorker through and through. Give me 5 quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Who can make that throw. That if they had made that throw in that moment, in that game, signature moments, signature plays, signature games, that you would have been giving them the exact opposite when it comes to credit, that you're not giving Eli Manning for making that kind of throw. Because it wasn't no accident. And again, let me add, I'm not saying Eli, and it come to conversations, if you want to do that tiers list thing, who's tier 1, who's tier 2, who's tier 3, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that one. That's never ending. I'm not saying he's no tier 1. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, my goodness, the credit that we give to all them other guys in this quarterback-driven league that's up here, and I wish you all could see how high my hand is raised. And then on the flip side, Eli's is way. Matter of fact, you need goggles to find it? No, stop it. Eli's not. He might not be your favorite, Double J. And I get it. Tom Coughlin, that front four, Human Ura, Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan.
Because of
You're breaking up.
You just was consistent with my message about the scheme in preparation that Tom Coughlin had. For example, you pointed out the catch,
but you still got to make the throw. You got to make the throw.
Oh, come on, quarterback.
He's what?
He's a professional quarterback. Again,
apparently not.
We both have a license. If something says stop at the stop sign and then go again, we're not getting applauded for that.
Oh, stop it, Double J. That throw was not. That's not no. Man, stop it. That's not no screen pass kind of throw. That's not no bubble screen kind of throw. Even if you want to say the Tyreek, whatever his name is, what's his name? David Tyree moment was a Hail Mary, cross your fingers. I get it. I watched the Browns beat the Saints on a Hail Mary. That kind of throw, man, it's a lot of guys don't make. I'm talking about in that moment. We watched Brett Favre, who, by all accounts, not mine, is the people's champion, still, and ain't played a down in the NFL since 1947. I watched Brett Favre choke off the Minnesota Vikings playoff hopes with a textbook kindergarten move that you ain't supposed to do. I watched Peyton Manning do it and throw one to Tracy Porter. You don't ever, they teach you in Little League, Pee Wee badminton, as a quarterback, roll one way and throw back across your body. Don't they teach you that? And the only guy I ever seen able to be incongruent with when it come to that is Patrick Mahomes. That's why I'm giving him, he's in a class by himself right now. Brett Favre choked the game off. Peyton Manning choked the game off. His brother, whatever. Man, everybody ain't making that throw, man. Everybody ain't making that throw. You talking about precision? You don't show no precision, man, and you perfunctory, and you poo-poo. Not completely. And once again, I'm not confusing that with saying that Eli is up there with, Brady and accolades and all of that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, man, he ain't roadkill. You making him out to be roadkill, Double J. You give the credit to Tom Coughlin, check. Defense, check. Linebackers, check. Even though they're part of the defense. I'm with you on all of that. I'm not arguing none of that. But then that's where you stop at? You don't give Eli nothing? I really would like to see some of these other guys in this quarterback-driven league had beat the standard. The Patriots are the standard. They're the standard. Twice? Come on, Double J. You're not winning this one, man. I'm telling you right now. I took my vitamins today, and I ate a bowl of Wheaties. What you got, Double J? What you got? Anywho, can we get back to the list now or no? No? I mean, man, that's very rare to have you all, the silence is golden.
No, I'm waiting for Double J to respond.
Double J can't respond to that.
There's a lot of ammunition. You're not going to get me to ride for no that guy.
Eli Manning. Okay, I got you. Okay, can we go on to number 3, Double J? Are you still with us, Double J? Double J. Okay,
I
you still.
agree to disagree on this one.
All right, that's fine. I thought you was jumping in the caddy, about to ride down here or something. Ride or die, Warriors, come out to play. I don't want that kind of trouble, Double J. I'm good, man. My feet hurt and my knees is bad, okay? If that's the case, you win. Eli's terrible. All right, number 3 on the list, Antonio Brown, Raiders. 168 on the targets, 104 on the catches, 1287 on the yards, and 15 touchdowns. Is he still worthy of being in the top 3 in your estimation, Brother Rich?
Absolutely. I was actually thinking you were going to say he's number 1.
Oh, no. I would never say that about Antonio Brown, even though he is in the top 3, I think, still. Even with the beige mustache?
Absolutely. Ain't got nothing to do with what he does catching that football.
Okay, got you. Ain't got nothing to do with the performance. All right, Double J, what about you? We sliding on over to you. Is Antonio Brown worthy?
Oh, yeah. Love him or hate him. Yeah, he deserves to be there. It'll be interesting to see what he does without a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay. Now we get to number 2. And the crux, the meat of this whole list, and in particular, who's the best of this 10. I'm going to tell you right now who's the best of this 10 currently as it stands. Number 2, my man DeAndre Hopkins. 163 targets, 115 catches, 1,572 yards, 11 touchdowns. But here's the thing about Hopkins that, to me, separates him from every other receiver on this list. And wait till we get to number 1, which is a disgrace, I think. No disrespect, but in terms of this list, is a disgrace. But every other receiver we've named so far, outside of maybe Juju and Michael Thomas and, of course, OBJ maybe, and I might throw Antonio Brown in there. We could make a case, all right? He set a Pro Football Focus record for most catchable targets, 105, without a drop in 2018. That right there separates him from everybody else. And do I have to say who's number 1? Or do we want to go and dive into this, elaborate a little bit on this DeAndre Hopkins tip? 105? No drops?
None from me.
In a sport where the nature of the sport, the occupational hazards are almost equivalent to professional bull riding? Huh? Or your grandma and your grandpa's weekend derby smash up? 105, man. Double J, did you hear that number? You want me to repeat that number? You the stats guy now. And no drops. That's a number 2, 0. Is he not in the class by himself? On that alone? Or did you care to rebuttal?
No, absolutely not. He's top 3 for sure.
For sure. Now, I want y'all. I hope y'all, Brother Rich. I hope your seatbelts is buckled. You thought the Yankees story was not good earlier. Wait, Double J, you too. You think Eli's bad? Wait till you hear this. Guess who they got number 1 in front of Hopkins, and in front of Antonio Brown, and in front of Juju?
Who is that?
Julio Jones.
Double J.
Yeah, you're right. Double J. Julio starts with a J. Jones starts with a J. I'm like that. I like that in you, Double J. I appreciate you interjecting yourself into that right there, because that's what it reminded me of when you said Eli was completely terrible. Yeah, for the Falcons, 174. What is his? 174 targets, 113 catches, 1677 on the yardage, and 8 touchdowns. Julio Jones before DeAndre Hopkins. Are you serious? Anybody else?
Well, again, that would have to be. I don't understand that, but again, that would have to be something. Maybe they're doing that based on whatever numbers you're about to tell us. That is phenomenal.
No, I just gave you his numbers. That's why I gave brief numbers on every receiver I just named in their top 10. And here's the killer part.
No, but I'm talking about something else. Is there something else?
No, no, exactly. Nothing else to add. Are you serious? If anything, if I had to do a top 5 list, I don't even remember what David Carr's was. It would, of course, be Hopkins would be my number 1. Real spit, based on performances, it would be a toss-up maybe between OBJ and Juju, to me. Now, I don't know. I like Michael Thomas. It's hard for me. I don't like really doing a list type thing or whatever, because, I find something that I think I'm sold on, and then I find something else to make me want to switch people, and it just takes me all day long. It's like doing a crossword puzzle for me. But if I had a list, it would definitely Mike Evans, Juju, Michael Thomas, OBJ, Hopkins, Antonio Brown, and Tyreek Hill will be on my list. Not A.J. Green no more. Not Julio Jones no more. It was once upon a time, yes, of course. But, shucks, I mean, Calvin Johnson could come back and be better than a couple of these guys on this list. Would you, Double J, could you see Hopkins at number 1 on the top 10 list? This one and any other one? Because I've seen a couple of top 10 lists that's kind of similar to this one.
Yeah, I mean, of course you can make the case for it, but again, ultimately they're looking at it as far as a complete player. So again, yes, Hopkins is fast, Hopkins is consistent, but if you look at Julio Jones, the difference here, one that really stood out was just the yards after catch. So again, Hopkins' speed, no different than Tyreek Hill, can beat you over the top. Julio's somewhat, working out of kind of that post pattern, and you'll see him fight off 2 or 3 players. But again, he didn't have nearly the snap count that Hopkins did. So yet outproduced him in overall yards.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm just, for the life of me, when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, we have got to discuss this. And to see the comments in regards to this, I'm glad you ain't on Facebook, Brother Rich. On Facebook,
indeed,
to see the comments surrounding this subject here, man, and folks acting like Hopkins, I'm like, what? I'm at a loss for words, and that's rare, like seeing Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster. Me being at a loss of words, you might as well believe Santa Claus is real. Hopkins did not drop a pass, man. Okay, let's do it this way. Give me give me we just went through them, but give me a receiver in the last 8-9 years that had 105 catchables and didn't drop a pass. Double J, just name whoever you think you can name off the top of your head. Go as far back as you want to go. Dante Lavelli, go back. Don Maynard.
Jerry Rice.
Who?
Jerry Rice.
He had 105 not catchables and no drops.
Likely in Oakland.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. I'm not saying hey, look, I'm not saying it ain't the case or it's not true, but come on, man. Again, we talking NFL here now. We talking you playing a position where if you don't have your head on the swivel, guys trying to take your head off. And you know they wasn't all of the catch and run varieties. You know what I'm saying? There had to be some go get 'ems and some traffic and all of that kind of stuff, man. To not drop a pass, man, 105. That's unbelievable to me, man. You know what? I'm gonna look this up too. I wonder if Randy Moss ever done it, or Marvin Harrison, or Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. I mean, Calvin Johnson, AJ Green, Julio Johnson, Roddy White, Steve Largent. Now, you know what? I am going to look this up. If there's anybody else on this type of list, I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Largent is one of them. You all remember Steve Largent? Played for the Seahawks?
Absolutely.
Man, Steve Largent and Jim Zorn. Oh, my gosh. Man, I loved watching them two get together. Jim Zorn, lefty. Yeah, I don't even think when I said lefty, it made me think of Boomer Esiason, who was very underrated as an NFL quarterback in my estimation. But he had Tim McGee. I'm going back. I'm going back as far back as I can in my memory, which is a struggle right now. You know, I told you I deal with senility. To think of a wide receiver other than not named Jerry Rice, who would even come close to something like that. Double J, for real, seriously, before we get out of here. How huge is that? When you got that number 105 in your head, man, try to explain that to not have no drops. Give me the magnitude of something like that.
Well, it's probably the most jaw-dropping stat of them all, because more often than not, you're hearing about what receivers aren't doing more than what they are doing, specifically with drops. That you looked at how it plagued Des Bryant.
Yes.
The list goes on and on. But again, overall, that is what makes you elite.
Good one. Because you know what? Now I'm factoring in. We talk about wide receivers, Brother Rich. Could we say pass catchers, quote unquote, in the NFL in general? And when I say pass catchers, I'm thinking of guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Them guys coming out the backfield was catching passes now. We're talking about pass catchers. See, now you Double J, you see where we going with you see where it's going now? Now you add more to the and he still stands out. That's unbelievable. Man, for him not to be number one and everybody else, now that's a case where it's him and then it's everybody else to me. Man, that's remarkable, man. When I saw that, man, I'm telling you, I sat and looked at it for 14 minutes. I knew it was fake news. It's fake news. It's fake news. Had to be. Till I got to reading, and I'm like, well, my gosh. And only Pro Football Focus had him as like, well, a lot of the national pundits and the local ones that talk sports, they lean heavily when it comes to NFL football and Pro Football Focus. So that's like the Elias Sports Bureau. So, as a matter of fact, they use Pro Football Focus more than they do Elias Sports Bureau nowadays. Am I right, Double J?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and Pro Football Focus. And they said it.
I'll say this. So, as of last year, the career drop percentages, you asked for a few. I'm going to give you two players. One you'll know, one you will not. That, again, to qualify for this list, you had to have at least 300 career targets. 1.37%. Larry Fitzgerald.
Wow.
He is the model of consistency.
Wow.
second. And this one is even a shocker to me, given the number of injuries and, of course, the Wild, Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen.
Really?
At 1.46%.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. You know what? I don't even think he was an honorable mention on that list that I looked at. I know T.Y. Hilton was. Keenan Allen. I like Keenan Allen, though. I do. I like Keenan Allen a whole lot. Yeah, and I'm surprised he's not even on this list. Could you see him? I could see Keenan Allen over a Thielen, at least. Could you see him over Thielen, Double J?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think he's better.
And A.J. Green, to tell you the truth.
So A.J. Green is the most overrated receiver in the league. I do not want him in the list at all.
Yeah.
He makes no list of mine.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, Julio Jones is borderline not making the list, too. How they got him at number one, that's mind-boggling to me, too. But A.J. Green, he plays for Brother Richard's other favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a Hugh Jackson fan. Hugh, dog pound. Oh, fellas, good stuff as always. As always, good stuff. And on that note, don't do that, Double J. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report, or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, and, of course, via email, theshopreport365@gmail.com. And if that don't work, Google it. We're also on Spotify, if I might add. And for my guests, my man from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich, and my cat from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J, and all those who follow us on social media, we say thank you for your support. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.